see us on Twitch.
Is there any sloppy show on my face?
No. There we go. All right, that's good.
We're not going to tell you.
All right, and here we are live with... Ooh, we are live with the
Live.
AIE Podcast with chat.
Oh, Mew?
Yeah.
My mom joined our very exclusive club, but she only got a single one.
Oh, of Black Cats?
Yes. We told her to get two. She wouldn't listen.
Yep.
Hopefully it's a loner cat, not one that needs a friend.
Well, it's a baby.
It's
She's
a baby.
12 weeks old.
All right. Cool. We are live and ready to go. We'll see if anyone pops into the chat, but I see us and hear us, so.
So do I. And I'm going to pause it, scroll it, so I don't distract myself there either.
Right?
Huh? Too late.
Oh, you know what? Let me blow my nose so I don't sneeze in the middle of the broadcast.
I mean, fair.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Heather can get the yawn out of the way.
Right.
Why are you so tired? Anyway.
I
Hey
know.
there's Seema. Hey, Seema.
Hi, Seema.
Hello. Cooking over the Sloppy Joe mixture. Definitely released some sinus stuff.
Yeah, spicy will do that to you.
Actually, it wasn't spicy. It was. It actually tasted more like a sweet, like almost spaghetti, like a bolognese. Like it was real good. It was. I forget the brand. It's not like a big brand. Like it was more artisan.
Still
Nice.
good.
It was tasty. Yeah. All right. I guess we're as close as we're gonna get. Everybody ready?
I think so, yeah.
I think
You're
so.
leading this thing.
Seema, do we sound?
Oh my God.
We all sound good. I'm just trying to go ahead and talk me a little bit.
A little bit. Here's
Yeah.
a little bit of me talking.
No,
Just
you're
a
good.
little.
All right.
Okay, let's do this.
Yeah. We're
Okay.
good.
All right. In 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
We have your Summer of Love schedule.
With D&D and lore and Remembrance Day and more.
Right. Congrats to SWTOR on the total galactic win they really, really fought hard for.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And big changes are coming to Lotro.
And we are chatting amongst ourselves.
Hi, selves.
That's what happens. When you leave these amongst ourselves, we talk to ourselves. It's just a thing.
Mm-hmm.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
And welcome to episode 436 of the podcast celebrating you, the Alea Iacta-esque gaming community. The Die Has Been podcast. The voice you hear now is Mew Cow. Greetings, guildies. Hope you're having a hopefully not too overly toasty summer, depending on where you are. And
Toasty.
yeah, and to my left and on the left side of her screen is Makala.
Hey, folks, there are fig and goat cheese pinwheels on the Guild Kitchen.
Ooh, those sound interesting.
And then to the right side is Tetsemi.
Hello. I'm currently spreadsheetless.
Sorry, do you
That's
want to borrow
strange.
some of mine?
No, that's a good thing. I've escaped the
Oh, okay.
spreadsheets. We'll talk about it, but I've escaped the spreadsheets for now. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay, fine. Everything's fine here. How are you?
Mhm. Pretty much.
This week, we have the Summer of Love schedule. That's coming up because it's the summer and, you got to share the love. So Summer of Love.
Yeah. We don't love the summer because it's really hot.
Yeah. But we do have other gaming news.
Right.
So we'll be chatting about what we've been up to shortly, but we're going to go ahead and get the news out of the way. So here's this week's news.
AIE News.
All right, I have your mandatory fun night news. Just be aware, these things may be changing due to Summer of Love. So this is the standard schedule. However, more details in the notes below. All right. So mandatory fun night, where the fun is mandatory, but attendance is not. On Sunday, we have Destiny 2 at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. On Monday, we have Guild Wars 2 at 9:30 Eastern. Also, on Monday, we have STO at 10 Eastern. Tuesday, we have SOTOR at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Max. Wednesday, we have HFO Mythic and Mayhem and WoW at 8 o'clock Eastern. Thursdays, on the first and second Thursday of the month, we have board game night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central. Find that information in Discord. Fridays, we have ESO at 9 p.m. Eastern. Saturday, we have Lotro at 8:30 p.m. Saturday, at just an hour later, we have Map Night in Final Fantasy XIV at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And then we round up that schedule with Kinney and New Braid in WoW at 10 o'clock Eastern on Saturday.
11 o'clock Eastern.
11 o'clock Eastern. Guys, I can't read my own notes.
That's okay. All right. And in streaming and guild podcast news, we have a ton of other AIE member podcasts. Want to know where to find them? Well, look no further than the show notes and listen up. New Overlords podcast with Max and Seema is at newoverlords.com. The Working Class Nerds with Mark and Nick, again, reminder not safe for life, is at workingclassnerdscom.wordpress.com. Boards and Swords with Chris and Philip is at boardsandswords.com. Dr. Gameology with Dr. Daniel Kaufman is at drgameology.com. And STO Fleet Action Report with Greebog and Nicodemus is at youtube.com/@fleetactionreport. And finally, a podcast reborn, a Final Fantasy XIV community podcast with Brandon, a.k.a. Old Man Franks, Megan, and Ro. Not safe for work or life or small children or sometimes monsters. Anyway, they are at bonusroll.gg/directory/a-podcast-reborn.
And now for that Summer of Love information. This is what we have so far. It will, of course, change and add to as we get closer. But for now, what we have is starting July 26th and ending August 2nd, with August 2nd being Remembrance Day. So far, Summer of Love will include 2 D&D one-shots. One is hosted by Duskmeyer in a Star Wars setting, and the other is hosted by Kramer for ESO on their mandatory fun night. If anyone is interested in hosting a one-shot, please contact Gusty Tail. We'll also have Lore Night, where participants will share a story from in-game lore, events, or their character's backstory. In WoW, we'll have Trivia Night and Guild Chat with pet and transmog giveaways, WoW Hide and Seek, and a Delves event, because those are kind of fun right now.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. And in SOTOR news, the big news in SOTOR is that our group won both Total Galactic War last week, and they're using this week to pick prizes, lie on the beach with pina coladas, and not do uprisings for a bit. It was a close race for some days, but they pulled way ahead at the end of the completion. And but I can't read. But they pulled way near the end, and our completion just could not be, and the competition could just not catch them. There we go. Check out the Discord for the victory screenshot. And while you're there, feel free to check on the Capybara link. It will make your day better.
Mm-hmm. And in ESO news, the Summer of Love, they have the D&D one-shot down at the docks going on the usual MFN, which is Friday, August 1st. And then they'll meet at Kinney's main house on Saturday, August 2nd for Remembrance Day in the chapel room.
In Final Fantasy XIV, they wanted a reminder to come join them for Map Night on 9:30 Eastern every Saturday. As long as you've completed the Heavens Ward main story, there's stuff for you to do. You can even join as part of the free trial and insert meme here.
Yep.
Got a whole thing.
Yep.
Even if you're in a different FC or a different world, you can still join on Goblin in the Crystal Data Center. Just do the little world move. You don't have to transfer. It's just a move. Just say, I want to go visit Crystal, and then say, I want to go to Goblin, and you can join.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. All right, and on STO News, Fleet Action Report, your weekly dive into the world of Star Trek Online. In episode 257, join host Nicodemus, Tabitha, and Greybug as they plunge into the unknown, deep into fluid space itself. This week, they tackle the eerie mission, assimilation, and fluid dynamics, where the Borg and the Undying collide in one of STO's most unsettling story arcs. What happens when the Borg finds a way to assimilate an Undying? Tune in to find out, and don't forget to bring a towel. It's going to get weird. There's a new official STO Discord. Links are in the show notes. Console sale.
Hang on,
Sorry?
just as a point. The reason there's an STO Discord now is they've closed the forums and made them read only. So the official
There we go.
Yeah, the official forums are now closed, so everything goes through the Discord.
Which makes sense because forums are just a source of.
Think of the
Let's hack
past.
it.
Yep.
Let's spam it or hack
Think
it.
of the pack. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Also through tomorrow is the console sale. 20% off ships, bundles, slots, and tokens. And then starting on July 2nd, we have Heart of the Matter event. I'm sorry,
Ending on the
ongoing
2nd.
through July 2nd. Sorry. TFO Devil's Heart, mini episodes, All That Matters, reward, kind of boon set, 2-piece bonus, Drain Heals Hull, 3-piece bonus, subsystem power drain, anti-proton damage, and delayed explosion. So check that out through July 2nd.
And in Lord of the Rings Online, there are big changes coming to Lotro. For starters, August 31st, free transfer from 32-bit worlds. After that, they will become Dark Worlds. With this change coming soon, the kinship on the legendary server Treebeard has been disbanded. Also, the old forums are going away and have been in a read-only state for a few years. New stuff to the game right now. The Midsummer Festival is going on with new quests in Furtherholm. Furtherholm is a new island off the coast of Umbar. Minius Tirth Midsummer is still around. The Midsummer Festival runs through July 7th. Be on the lookout for some group stuff for the kinship to run in the near future. We have a special MFN on July 26th so as not to divert from Remembrance Day. Also, the STO folks just wanted us to reminder that the RISA, I believe it's the RISA summer event's coming soon as well. So get your surfboards up and hit the beach. Yep.
All right, that's all the news that's fit to talk about. And with that, we'll talk to each other and see what we've been up to. And then we have a question of the month after that.
Yes.
All right. So let's start with Mikala, since she spoke last.
But how does that work?
Right?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. So, fun times. So since we last spoke, we had Phoenix Fan Fusion. We missed you so much, Mew.
Oh, believe me, I would have wanted to be there, but
You were here. So we did have a good old-fashioned little guild get-together on the Thursday before. Yep. Shoujo and Panda Groove were in town. So we took them to Chino's, and we were met by Salem, one of our old guildies, came up to join us. Rabbit and Saint. We had Nevermore and Ben the Mage. We had TV Creepog. I'm going around mentally. Kinney and Elkarth came. Of course, we were there with the kiddos and our best friend. So Jade Red Chicken was enjoyed by all. And then Friday was the first day of con. I got to meet some hobbits.
cool.
So our best friend had gotten for her birthday the photo op with Sean Astin and Elijah Woods. Now, Sean was only there for one day. The rest of the hobbits were there the entire weekend. But I believe because he had to get to a Goonies event the next day because the Saturday was the 40th anniversary of Goonies.
Mm-hmm.
Which meant that I left my table, and unfortunately, some things were a little bit of a cluster F when it came to the lines and all that. So I think I was gone for a good 2 hours.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that never makes me happy. But it was lovely to meet them just for a brief second. The picture was great. Now we did have some issues with con because due to a snafu with sign up, we did not get the same table we'd had for years, which meant people couldn't find us, which also meant we had to completely reconfigure. So unfortunately, like our sales were down 50%.
Oof.
Yeah.
It was not cute.
On a happier note, do you want to tell the Hobbit story?
Okay. So this is quite funny because, we're going through line, and the handler's like, okay, no hugs, no handshakes, in picture, in, out, done. Right. So we go in there. And so Kiki went first. Entered the room, the little thing first. And I look over and like Sean Astin has her in a hug. I'm like, okay, we don't hug, but if they, hug, we're good to go. All right. So that was really cute.
Yeah.
Let's see what also happened. One of our friends got relentlessly mocked by Jonathan Frank, so that was fun.
That made the con. That was right.
Okay.
Tell the
so make
story.
sure I'm telling this story. Okay. So our friends Katie and Mel, both of their sisters, half sisters technically, both are huge Star Trek fans. In fact, Katie's son is named William, and she jokes it's because of Riker. Mel and I were roommates in the 90s, and I can tell you she was as Star Wars obsessed as I am she was as Star Trek obsessed as I was Star Wars obsessed.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
What do you mean was?
And I'm still am. Okay. So, in any case, Jonathan Frakes was there, Brent Spiner was there. So, some really good stuff at con this year. So, Katie had Jonathan sign her
Funko
Pop vinyl, her Funko Pop. So he signs it, and he says, and I believe he's like, okay, before you put it back in the sleeve, make sure you let it dry, because if not, it'll smear. Okay. And she immediately puts it back in the sleeve, and it smears.
No, she went to touch it to see if it was dry so she could put it back in.
Yeah.
And I smudged it.
Smeared it, yeah. So he and Mel exchange glances, and Mel laughs. Yeah, and Mel laughs, and she's like, "Can you believe I'm the older sister?" It's like, "Yeah, I actually do." So he's like, "It's just like, do you want me to fix that for you?"
She's like, "Could you?"
So he fixes it, and he goes, she goes to get it back, and he does this to Mel. It's like, no, you come here.
hands it to Mel instead of Katie.
Yeah.
It was a riot. It was
absolutely
just a riot.
And the entire time they're just exchanging glances, like, can you believe this girl?
Yeah.
So yeah, I my joke was, having your pop vinyl signed by Jonathan Franks, $80, seeing your sister relentlessly mocked, priceless.
Yep.
So that was fun. Now the good stuff with the con is our load in was really easy. Our load out was really simple. We spent time, with AIE people. We had a really good meal with JoJo and Panda Grove the night after the first con. We got all the hugs from everybody. So that was, it was a great time.
Tell them about the booth selfies. People knew that Heather, when you come visit Heather at the booth, she's gonna take a selfie with you for the, and put it up on Facebook if that's okay with you. So she would have people come by and like, okay, I'll be by your booth tomorrow when I have done my makeup, or I'll be by when I look cute.
Oh yeah, or literally when my friends, I didn't say like all weekend, like Sundays, like, I'm so sorry it took me so long to get over here. I need to make sure I look cute before I got to your booth. So that was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. That was a running thing. The whole
it was a running thing. It happened for multiple people because evidently everyone just knows the booth selfies are a thing. Yep. So what else? So kind of been was prepping for that. We have another show next weekend, Crit Hit. So if you are in the greater Phoenix area, the vendor hall is free to shop. Go to, I believe, just crithit.com I believe it's crithit.com. It is out in Mesa. Come see me. There might also be booth selfies, but it's a longer show, or it's a less crazy show, so there's plenty of time for that. What
Did it
else?
feel weird with them kind of like it? What don't you normally have Mondays too, or am I like
No, so it
imagining
used
that
to.
wrong?
It has been. So it used to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I think maybe at one point it was also or Friday through Monday.
Yeah.
It's not been the 3.5 days for quite some time though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Makes
because we used to
sense, I
have
guess.
Thursday. We used to have Thursday night preview night, which was
Yeah, and
a
people
very
would-
low ticket cost, and people would just come in to shop.
Yeah, literally, like they would come in, get all their shopping done on Thursday evening, so they could enjoy the con the rest of the time. Or they
just
weren't
buy a
interested in the
single-day
con;
ticket.
they just wanted to see the vendor
Just wanted
hall.
to go see the vendors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that used to be actually like per hour. It was our biggest day because it was only like from 5 to 9. So we used to get more than $100 per hour, sales wise. So let's see what's going else. Kind of we're in the summer lulls even with our games. But our Call of Cthulhu game we're wrapping up. So this has been a really good adventure. Takes place modern day, except for right now, because somehow we're in the past.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're in 1963.
Or we actually started in the past and thought we were in the present day. We don't quite know what the time situation is.
Yeah. But we've been in and out of basically the Upside Down multiple times. They have been this Veil
Neuroscience,
thank you, has been experimenting on all these students. We found out that we were all brought there on purpose. Some more than others. Because they basically have a process that feeds off of fears.
Monster Inc. style.
Well,
very much Monster Inc. style. But
and what's worse is it's recursive. So if you overcome your fear, they now have enough power and know enough about you to replay it, but make it stronger. So you're more scared of it until you overcome it, and then they recursively loop back, make it stronger, and so they've got this kind of like Garrosh Hellscream in what was the Covenant in Shadowlands that fed off the you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
it was that one where
Vamp Daddy was.
Yeah, exactly. Where they were feeding off him because he was such a good source of anima battery. Yeah. It's that style of thing. They would just make people stronger and stronger and stronger and able to overcome their fears, overcome it, so that then they could get more out of it the next time around. So yeah.
Sire Denathrius.
Yes. Yep.
So in one of the next, not the last session, but the one before, they had basically one of the other our PA, our TA, our teacher's assistant. They were using her in an experiment, and basically she was powering the whole thing to open up this gate, because she had a unique combination of both phobia and genetics. Because we figured out she actually was related to the founder of Veil.
Convenient.
My character was the second best option, we think, because of the phobias, but I don't know. Maybe it was also her genetics. We don't know.
Yeah.
But basically, they were using her to power this gate to basically bring the Upside Down and the real world together. And we had broken into the lab. We found out that our teacher was there and was observing and was, kind of involved and kind of not, but she was in on the whole thing. So we, it was kind of a don't push the red button kind of situation.
Oh, I pushed it with my sword.
Yeah, push it hard. It hard. And then we ended up in 1960.
Yeah.
As one does.
As one does. Yeah. It was odd.
Yeah. Other than that, just a lot of work. Oh my gosh, a lot of work right now.
Mm.
So much work.
Because I have no life.
You have plenty of life.
Lots of extra lives.
Exactly.
Like 17 of them in here.
Yep.
All right. Well, then, why don't we continue that streak and see what's going on with Tets, since you've already been part of that.
Yes. So part of Fan Fusion, the fun is for those that like adult beverages and are of age to consume adult beverages. The whiskey folks are back, and so we got the new sample pack that they did, which was amazing.
So good.
Yeah. What was the bourbon? Do you remember? The bourbon was it wasn't a honey bourbon, but it was a.
Oh, there was a honey bourbon that they had
Yeah.
a sample of. We didn't get that one.
Yeah, but that looked really good. So that was fun. Yeah, load in and load out was like
Amazing.
We pulled in to the top of the parking garage to get in line. Wrote 10:01 on the windshield. We left the parking garage at 10:27. Like, it took us literally 26 minutes. By the time she came back, I parked, dropped her off to go get the badges so we could come in. I had the cart loaded up, so we went, dropped everything off at the table, set up, winced, because we realized this will work, but it's not the best, and then, took off and we were out of there. So load in was great. We found a new parking garage instead of parking across the street where we had to go up the stairs. This one instead, what we did was we exited out the hall, went up the elevator. We call it the unofficial Ashley Eckstein elevator because that's where we ran into her last year. And then you go back into the main hall, past the escalators, and go out through the arcade area, which they had. And literally you could walk inside all the way to the very end, exit out, and the elevator for the parking garage was right there, and took that down, and we were there. So it made getting in and getting out so much easier. So that was good. And then we have been having a blast in our Cyberpunk game. So I got the coding done for the Roll20 spreadsheet. Good Lord, character sheet. That was a lot of fun. So we have talents and skills, and they interact with each other. And you have a talent tree that you pick. The first tier it unlocks, second tier unlocks, third unlocks, fourth. That sort of thing. It's a whole section just for spells to keep track of. Purchasing them and how much they cost and all their descriptions and stuff. So it's a whole thing. And we've been using that for a few weeks now, and that's turned out really, really useful for keeping track of everything. We ran into one thing today that I need to adjust the spreadsheet or adjust the character sheet to take care of. And that's ongoing conditions, but that's neither here nor there. We can add that in.
Sounds like you're going through spreadsheet withdrawals, so you keep saying it.
No, it's just force of habit. And then since I got done coding that, because that took up a good 3 weeks of time to get all that in place, I missed a couple of games that came out, so I started Blueprints. Got to room 46 on like day 31, I think. So, quote unquote, won the game. When in reality, you're actually just starting the game once you get there, because you've learned enough.
No, we can play the game.
By the time you get there, you've learned enough to realize there's so much more to that game than just trying to get to room 46. And the first time you get to room 46, you don't get to explore it. It just says congratulations, blah, blah, and rolls the credits. The second time, and then from then on, there's a puzzle in the room that you have to solve as well. Lots of puzzles everywhere, puzzles. So that's been fun. And it's nice because you can just sit down, play through a session, and be done, and feel like you've accomplished something. Even if it's a roguelike, you're still always either gaining knowledge or getting more gems, getting more keys, getting more coins, learning, where rooms are optimally placed, that sort of thing. There was one where I unlocked a room and you read the note and it says, this room will only appear in this, this side facing this direction, and this room will only appear on this side, Oh, okay. That makes sense. So yeah, had a lot of fun doing that. And then, because there was so much chatter going on about it, I also picked up, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, and that is a good game if you like your emotions wrecked.
It does look like a Souls-like, though. I think we saw the Carbot animation about it, and it looks like a Souls-like, which kind of
it's not. Think
not?
of it. You played. Good Lord, it completely escaped my Dragon Age. Did you play Veilguard?
No, not yet. It's still
Okay.
on my to-do list.
It's basically it's a first person shooter, but you play in third person. But anyway, and it's turn-based combat. So when you go in and you face the bosses, it's turn-based. It's not, you have time to decide, and you see the order everything's going to go in. There's a queue.
Okay.
But when the bosses go, you have to react to what they're doing. So it's either a jump,
I see.
a dodge, or a parry.
Okay. That explains the Carbot, because we were
Right.
watching it last night, and we were just kind of scratching our heads like, okay, now they're doing a dance-off. Okay.
Right, yeah. So, I haven't watched that because unless you get through chapter 2, there's spoilers on it, just FYI. But the dodge is the easiest. The jump and the dodge are the easier, and then the parry is the harder of the two. But if you get successful parries, then at the end you get to perform a maneuver. Or there's a couple where it's dodge, jump, and then you trigger something that will react to the bosses attacking you. And each one has its own style. There's a really fun one where it's a little robot, and you have to basically, every time you get near it, it runs away. So you have to chase it back to its little, for lack of a better term, charging station, and then you can fight it. One of them, the blue one, every time you go through a round, it adds 3 shields on top of what it had the previous time. So 3 shields, then 6 shields, then 9 shields, and then it flees in the 4th round. So you have to have your characters built up or specialized to take down shields.
Wow.
I have one character that can basically knock out an indefinite amount of shields in one shot. So yeah, that's good. But the story is what's interesting. It's basically, you start in this town, and I won't spoil it too much, but you start in the town and they're having what they're calling the Grammage Day. And what it is basically you get to a certain point in your life and you're going to die. And this is very young. It's like 30s, 35. I forget the exact age. But basically, and everyone knows it's going to happen because it happens every time. And so you have a choice. Basically, the year before that, they form an expedition of people that don't want to let that happen, but would rather die trying to prevent it from happening for the people back home, essentially. And so you're on Expedition 33.
33, that makes perfect sense.
They started on 100.
Oh, shit.
And you're 33. Yeah. There have been 67 other expeditions that have gone before you, and you get to see what happened to all of them as you go. Yeah.
Yeah, because in the Carbot animation, there's a 34, and a guy walks up and
races it and goes
30.
30. Yep, and you see that happen in game. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So, again, I haven't got far enough in the game to know what would happen if it hit 0, or what happens. So, I just hit Act 2, and yeah, it's wrecking me. It's a very, very good game. I think you'd like it. You played Cyberpunk?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
That's probably one of my number 1 games.
Yes, it's very similar as far as the you have not weapon loadouts, but you have weapons that you give to each character, and then their stats increase. You want to put stats that match. You have 6 stats, and 3 of them the weapon does better if those are the ones that you have points in. You also have 6 abilities that you can trigger during the fight, and you have to build up a resource to use them during the fight. But it's also a little bit sandboxy in that you can explore the area, but there's only one path from A to B. But how you get from A to B is the interesting part. And there, it's one of those things like we were joking about in game today. If the DM tells you to go north, you immediately turn around and go east because you want to see what they don't want you to see over there. So, yeah, that's like every video game ever. It's like, oh, okay, so we're supposed to go that way. All right, I'm going this way instead. Oh, look, all this secret stuff over here. Oh, a side quest over here. Oh, yeah, I can solve this. And then you go back eventually to advance the story, but not until you've explored the area. So, yeah, it's one of those. It's fun. I think you'd really like it, Mew. The combat is fun. So, yeah, it's reaction-based combat.
Join the pile.
Yeah. Exactly. It is free currently on Xbox, so that if you have the you have the Game Pass, it's available there. And then the only other thing I played, I had to get the demo of it because this game has been talked up so much. So Robbie Draymond, who is a voice actor, has done voices in Critical Role and Overwatch, some other games. Was sitting at a session with another voice actor for Dungeon Daddy, which is a dating sim for monsters in a dungeon. Okay. And they looked at each other and looked at, what they were having to do. He goes, wow, pretty much soon we're going to be able to date everything. And they paused, looked at each other, and said, we need to make that. So they formed a game company, and then they went and got all the voice actors. So almost everyone from Critical Role or who has been on Critical Role is there. Overwatch voice actors, Dimension 20, Brennan's crew from there are voice actors. There's 100 different voice actors for this game because there are objects in your house and in the world that you can date with your how do they call it? Datator glasses. They're a pair of aviator glasses, and once you put them on, you can interact with all the objects. And it's funny because it's date everything, but it's really build a relationship because some of the things you become frenemies with, some of the things you just have friendships with, some you have romance with. It's a riot. The demo's out on Steam. You get like 5 days of game playing in the game. It's like a mini tutorial to walk you through and see what it's all about. If you have, half an hour, 45 minutes, download it. It's a riot. And like I said, 100 different voice actors. You're going to get Mercer. You're going to get Laura Bailey. You're going to get Angeli Bermani. You're going to get Brennan Lee Mulligan. They're all in there. It's a riot. So that's what I've been up to. What about you, Mew?
Yeah, what have you been doing?
Let's see. Well, in WoW, my heroic team did get AOTC
nice.
Finally.
Congrats.
So that it felt like we got it earlier this time around too. But we kind of like we're a casual heroic team, but we did kind of like said, okay, let's see if we can just shore up a couple things just to make this easier on ourselves, and it's not like we're not try-harding, we're just cleaning up the edges so that it's easier for us to be casual about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we kind of plowed through and now we've just been doing re-clears. We did the achievements I think in 1 week, so we got the achievement mount for that pretty quickly. So yeah, and WoW it has a lot of nice content that's not required but is helpful. Mm-hmm. So like I was doing last night I was doing the Heroic Visions. on my Demon Hunter because I was starting to go back to my warrior tank, but then I heard about the possibility that in 11.2 that Demon Hunter might be getting a third spec, which is a Void Demon Hunter.
Nice.
So instead of it being
Wait a minute. Is that like an undead Death Knight? Like you died, you got raised as a Forsaken, and then
we call that Refied Death Knight.
Yeah, and then you died again, but you got raised as the Forsaken version of the Death Knight. So you're like a Death Knight.
Well, this is Void. This is not death, but it's Void.
Right, but
so I guess
this is going to be
so
Void Demon.
So from what I saw, the little bits I saw was apparently a Demon Hunter and a Void Ranger,
Dark Ranger
shared notes. Dark Ranger, somebody that's someone that's on the Void side, essentially like Alaria or whatever. Like two characters said, let's trade notes. And so they tell each other, they teach each other their abilities, and then I guess the Demon Hunter really gets into it and is now a Void Demon Hunter and supposedly is a optional raid boss in the next year.
Okay, so it's bad enough as a Demon Hunter that you have the demon inside you talking to you all the time, but now you have the entire Void talking to you.
Yeah, now the Void
well.
is whispering you to you. Yeah,
you got a few things going on there.
It could be a case where they look over at Alaria saying, she's actually doing really well with her void powers. Maybe we should use some of that. So it's the same thing as warlocks.
Yeah.
Let's fight the demons with demons.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how do you fight the demons? You throw more demons at them. What if that doesn't work? You throw more demons at them.
Throw more demons at them. Yeah.
Have you not seen a demonology warlock?
Oh yeah.
I mean, just look at his army.
That's what
I was. That's what Mickey is.
Yeah, just keep throwing imps at it, and eventually it'll go away.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was intriguing. Unfortunately, I was kind of like, I guess I can't see this being like a healer spec. Like I can't see a Demon Hunter being a healer. But no, it's a DPS spec. But
so
it's,
they have
it's
two
a void.
DPS and a tank.
Which is just like the warrior. They're basically like a warrior. They're just a fell flavored warrior, honestly. I was trying to do some of the heroic reclears on the Demon Hunter because it wasn't my main, but I'm trying to get his gear up again.
Right.
I was like, how can I make this a bit more sturdy like my warrior is? Oh, this ability, if I talent into it, is the ability I use in the warrior to survive this. Oh, okay. It's just the same thing. So it's just
renamed.
Pretty much map. Yeah, it's just renamed and mapped differently. It's in a different part of the talent tree.
Right.
But I just have a feeling that if that's true, at the very least, the Demon Hunters might get a little bit of attention. So and it's fun playing the character. So I've been taking it through delves and taking it through heroic visions.
Yeah, you mentioned warlocks because warlocks could summon void walkers, and they're already doing demons. So warlocks are already combining that. You've got so it's not
shadow priests.
Yeah, I mean shadow priests deal with the shadows, but deal with the shadow and the so it would be interesting. I just want to know Night Elf Paladins when.
Well, and there's also stipulation that they might allow void elves to become demon hunters.
Yeah, that would make sense. So if elves can become demon, if elves are the requirement for demon hunters, then void elf demon hunter makes sense.
Absolutely.
Yep. It just leaves out the horde side because they only have blood elves, unless of course they allow the Nightborn to become demon hunters. So it's possible, they were. Even though they prefer arcane, maybe they'll say, "Oh, hey, void, ooh, tasty void." This is
exactly.
good too, so who knows?
Oh, that's a whole can of worms.
Yep. So yeah, I've been doing that, and the new content. They have the holy place with the giant crystal sticking out of the ceiling.
Yes.
There's some new stuff there. Delves have gotten re-energized, and of course, you have to do delves to get the new belt, which of course is everyone's best slot. So you have no choice but to do delves. But it's luckily not that bad. You only have to do like one or two delves to get the belt, and then they do upgrades.
Right.
So you just got to go through a delve to upgrade, yada yada yada. It's not too bad. And I prefer delves over Mythic Plus anyway. I still don't think I've set foot in a Mythic Plus this season. or maybe even this whole X-Pack, actually, now that I think about it. And
You haven't
I've been
needed
fine.
to.
Like no, the delves have taken up that spot. And the vaults. It's kind of funny. It's an ongoing joke in my heroic team that I don't get rolls off of the raid stuff. I
No,
get the
you get it
vault.
all from your vault. Yeah.
Yeah, until my entire team is fully kitted out and no one's rolling on the loot
of
anymore.
course.
Then I start
Yeah.
getting it,
Yeah.
and because like, I finally won one. Oh, I'm the only person that rolled. Well, there you
Yeah.
go. So, but I've always been this. I've been tank. For whatever reason, even though I don't have the highest item level, I'm sturdy. I don't die.
Yeah.
I have actually. It's actually better this way because my co-tank is a paladin, and I'm constantly, even with worse gear, pulling off of him.
Oh yeah.
So it's because even and so that's kind of why at first I switched over to warrior, because it's like, oh, my demon hunter, oh, it's agility, maybe I just have really high crit, and that's why I keep pulling off. I
Nope.
switched over to warrior. Oh, I'm still pulling off. Huh. Oh well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess paladin tanks are just in a bad spot right now.
And
Which is sad
way-
because. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say Seema agrees with you on the delves instead of mystics.
Yeah, it's like I like the fact, like, as much as I like playing content with other friends, and I can, but like a delve, you can bring friends with you on a delve if you want to, but you can solo it. And if I need to get up and take care of something in the middle
Yeah.
of the delve, I'm not inconveniencing another human. It's just just have
It's
Braun
just
that
Braun,
gets
yeah.
annoyed. Just like
Yeah.
he gets annoyed at you and starts taking a nap on the wall over there. But so yeah, like it's
Better than
it's
him pulling
nice
everything.
That's true. But yeah, no, that's been nice, and I played a bit of Final Fantasy 14. Just kind of poking here. Nothing too. I mean, they're kind of in a lull right now, so that's kind of been off. What else? Have been playing a bit more of the First Descendant. That's the free to play shooter game. It's kind of like Destiny and Warframe. Like,
Had a baby?
but then you add, yeah. But then you add the character system from like Genshin.
Mm-hmm.
So and the thing is it's truly free to play. You can
Oh,
pay
wow.
to speed things up if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
You can flat out buy characters if you wish, or every single character in the game is grindable. Some easier than others, but like it's and I've apparently gotten the household of one Aludro addicted to it, as I was being messaged
Good
during
job.
the podcast, saying that her better half is now playing it as well. So
Excellent.
but it's it's a fun little game. It is a little fan servicey. They apparently in the last patch discovered physics and have been having a little too much fun with that. But it's physics for both sides. So there you go.
Yeah.
But it's a fun little shooter game. Like I don't know, like for some reason I don't know if it's just because it's how old the game is. Like Destiny 2 just feels so heavy now. Like there's something just about the gameplay, whereas this feels light. And like Destiny, basically they have the three classes, and they've kind of branched out because they have like the 3 or 4 different archetypes in that class.
Right.
So so they are branching out, but then you go over to the First Descendant that has, what is it, like 20 different characters, and they all have different things to them, but it has a solid shoot 'em up as well. But then some of the characters play into the shoot 'em up. Some of the characters don't. They play into elemental stuff. So you have your grill daddy, like a literal grill daddy that just throws fire everywhere. And has all kinds of very much catchphrases that sound like someone that's grilling out back. Like, it's
Nice.
just kind of funny.
Fun. Oh my gosh.
And he just got what they call an ultimate version of that character. So it's it's a little bit tweaked. It's basically the same character, but they tweak it a little to be a little stronger. So and then they had they have a fire angel. If you wanted a female character that did fire, a little different. Like there's lots of interesting flavor to it. All the different elements you can think of, even non-elemental. It's and like I said, it is completely free. Like you can do everything for free. They are really they do the login rewards, which are very generous. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun, and it's cross compatible too. So in the Eludra household, they have PC players and they have PlayStation players, and
Right.
both of them can play together on the same game. So
Nice.
um,
That's always a plus.
and let's see. Other than that, I did finally join the dark side and bought some Magic cards.
Oh, wow,
The
okay.
Final Fantasy 14 ones?
That's
Yes.
Or the Final
yes.
Fantasy, sorry, Final Fantasy version of them, because they have all of the Final Fantasy except...
Yes, literally all of them. Yeah.
No, there's one missing. Is there? I thought they'd left one out for some reason.
Maybe 16.
No, 16 is definitely...
15.
Was it 12?
Is it?
Don't remember. But anyway. But yeah, like all of them are in there. And the one from 14... the original Big Bad from the first couple of expansions, his card, Xenos, is great. Perfect.
Is it? Okay.
10 out of 10, no notes.
Yeah. So yeah, I've gotten some interesting stuff there. I managed to get it before the scalpers took everything.
That's good.
One thing that I will praise GameStop about is that they had anti-scalper settings. So, they actually had stock because of the way that they did things. They had it tied to, like, I think you had to have a GameStop account so that they could track you, and you could only buy one thing a day. So, of course, everyone, the scalpers, of course, were waiting at, every morning, but they could only take one and they had to walk away.
Right.
So that was nice. I think Best Buy was doing the same thing, where you had to have a Best Buy account to do that stuff. So I think some of these companies are realizing that, like, people aren't going to buy from them if they're making it too easy for the scalpers to just take everything away.
Yeah, well, and not Magic cards, but we were trying to get Switch 2.
Oh, yeah,
And so we were thinking, we looked at Target, Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, nothing available. Best Buy, you could go to the quote unquote midnight release and get in line and try and get one. We're like, not dealing with
No,
this.
yeah.
I'm old.
Plus,
I'm
it was during
It's
con.
the 2000s again.
Yeah, and it was con because we were trying to get it the Friday of con. So my daughter and I had a conversation. We're like, Costco does, So we looked it up on their website, and they had the bundle. You had to do the bundle. It wasn't just the game. It was the Mario Kart World bundle. Yeah. Okay. So 9:00 our time rolls around, which is midnight Eastern. Still says, check back on whatever the release date was, which was the next day. Okay. Wait, midnight Western, West Coast. Check, nothing. Rolled out of bed at 3 a.m. just to see. Still wasn't updated. Okay, fine. I'm back to sleep. I'll worry about it tomorrow. Roll out of bed at 6 a.m. It's available? What? That's got to be a mistake. Click. Buy. It'll be there. This was on a Tuesday, and it said, yeah, it'll be there Friday. I'm like, I don't trust any of this. This is not how the real world works anymore. Sure
I've heard
enough,
similar stories
Friday
about
we were
Target
at
being that way.
con, 1:00. That thing got dropped off at our doorstep. I was impressed. I was like, okay, Costco, yeah.
People weren't thinking.
No. And they had the same thing. You could buy
quick and
one
easy.
per account every 7 days. So you couldn't walk into Costco and grab a bunch and try and...
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't scalp. A scalper could grab one,
Yeah.
but it would just be one
Yeah.
instead of
Yep.
10.
Yep. So yeah, they're learning. They're slowly learning that we don't want to deal with scalpers. Like, all it takes is some fairly simple steps, and everyone can get a chance at it. But yeah, it's it's interesting, like, seeing some of these characters and seeing which ones are the legendaries and yada yada yada. But
That's fun, yeah.
and I'm familiar with the style because of my time at Hex, so it's pretty easy to play the game. And it comes with, if you get like one of the packs, like the full deck packs, it comes with a card that then gives you the deck in the Arena online game, so you
that's
can play it there
excellent.
as well. So yeah, I got a few of those, and it's interesting to dig through and see the interesting art and all that fun stuff. So But yeah, I got it before, and it's that stuff is now selling for $400 or $500. So, Xenos, yeah. Yeah, I did not get him. I did get 2 different Emmets though.
Oh, nice.
Three if you count. There's a different version of him that's not the same card. Like it's its own card.
Yeah.
Like it's Emmet the 3rd seat, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's Emmet that is Hades, and I have 2 of those, and one is like an extended art card, and one's a normal card. So
yeah.
Apparently that one's highly sought after. There was some big thing about like some streamer was opening her packs,
right,
and was apparently had gotten like 6 different Kafkas,
mm-hmm.
and finally just took the 7th and put it in her mouth and started chewing on it as she started to because that's how frustrated she was getting those Kafkas. She pulls up the next one. She gets a holographic Kafka.
Oh wow!
So
yeah,
but apparently she was going after Emmet. But
gotcha.
But yeah, no, it's they're nice cards, and it's sad because I know in a different world, had Hex not died, we would have been the ones doing that.
Mm-hmm.
That because we already had a relationship with the company.
Yeah.
So in fact, like when I was working at Square Enix, we were actually in talks to see if we wanted to do a Cryptozoic card game. So that might have been what this was, and then they finally just said, okay, well, I guess Magic has stomped all the competition out, so we have no choice.
Yeah.
Because they actually did release their own version,
mm-hmm.
like their own version of a card game, just a Square Enix Final Fantasy 14 card game, but it wasn't like, it didn't really make, it wasn't like a big thing. Like it just, it was more of a collector thing than a play game. But,
yeah.
So yeah, no, this has been going crazy. Like, it's selling out everywhere. It's selling for everything is selling for hundreds, of course, because the scalpers slowly got stuff. It slowed them down, but it didn't stop them entirely. But at least some of us got some cards.
Yeah, exactly. And you can buy still like the commander deck versions if you want the different commander decks.
Well, even those are now going for hundreds.
Yeah,
because they've all been scooped up. Yeah. But I did manage to get the Y'shtola commander deck.
Of course.
So
yeah,
you got to get that one.
You got to get that one.
And it's kind of funny when you look through it. It has all the Scions on it.
Yep.
So it's like the perfectly set up deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if you wanted, like it essentially is a Final Fantasy 14 deck.
Yep.
And then I also managed to get the it's a starter kit, but it had Sephiroth versus Cloud, and they had their own decks.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. So now I can play, and it's kind of just interesting and try to keep track of that, but it's still begrudgingly, because like I said, I'm still not happy with the way they do things, but when they're the only stuff in town.
Yeah, exactly.
And other than that, grown-up stuff, we're excited that our shed's coming tomorrow, and
yay!
It's you're an adult when you're excited to get the HOA acceptance letter. You're like,
right?
Yay!
Yes. You can put this in your backyard. Thanks.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah.
That color of paint is fine for your house. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
it's yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I had to preset everything. It's like, yes, this paint is matching the house. Yes, this trim is matching the house. Yes, this roof is matching the house.
Absolutely.
Here, look how far it's going to be away from the fence, so you don't freak out about that. And look, it's going to be on blocks. It's not a permanent slab, so you can't yell at us for changing the grade of sand.
Right.
Like it's all this stuff. It's like, yes, it's not a permanent structure, so if we need to, we can move it around.
Yeah.
It's been fun, but it's coming, and so we've been spending the day doing lots of cleaning around. The playroom is almost actually clean for the first time in months.
Nice.
That's been quite the struggle, of course, because when you have two of them, basically 2 ADHD kids that I'm trying to, Mrs. Mew is like, I'm gonna go put this thing over here. Are you now? Well, make sure you come right back.
Yeah.
So yeah, she definitely, there was definitely a few pouty looks as I was catching on to.
I can see that. I can see the looks.
Yep. So yeah, but we finally got there for the most part. There's just a few things to clean up, and then I can actually vacuum. So
nice.
Again, adult things to be excited about.
Grown up.
So, but and part of this too is we have friends of ours have a younger child that wants to come over and play, but things have always been a mess. So it's
Yeah.
like finally we said, let's get this done. That way they can come over, play, and we can have some more adult socialization as well as the kids are playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we're getting it. We've only been in here since almost 6 years, and we're finally getting it to where we can have some people come over and visit. So
Yeah.
it's funny that way. But in our defense, like 2 or 3 years of that was pandemic. So
That is very true. Yes.
But yeah, no, that and spend some time in the pool, and I've been very surprised. Probably you guys aren't as lucky, but we have not been as miserably hot as usual. It's only been high
good.
90s instead of over 100. So it's.
Yeah.
But I'm told that's supposed to be normal. Like we're not supposed to have 110 like we've had for the last few summers. It's supposed to be high 90s at most. So but unfortunately, the rest of the country gets to suffer with the temperatures we used to have last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. We're good. I hate everything. Just to let you know.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. But
All right.
but that's probably enough about me. I guess that's probably enough yapping out of me. So why don't we see what else we have to talk about? We have an interesting question for the three of us. If you could vacation in any game location, where would it be?
Interesting.
Start with Tets.
I got to default to my standard answer, which is, and you'd have to survive in the world, but either Nagrand, original Nagrand, or
Yeah.
Grizzly Hills in WoW.
Nice.
Either of those.
Grizzly Hills would be a nice one.
Mm-hmm.
I did contemplate Grizzly Hills.
What about you, McCullough?
Silver Moon City.
It's a good one
Pretty.
too.
It's airy. There's lots of art. I'm gonna guess there's good food.
Lots of parties.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're
Pretty
going
big.
glamping. Got it.
Have you
It says-
met me?
Yes.
It says vacation, doesn't say camping. So
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
because camping does not happen. I'm so sorry. That's where my Jewish side comes out, as Larkin likes to remind me.
Yep. What
That's a
about you,
tricky
Neil?
one. Probably like there's some places in WoW that probably wouldn't be too bad, but honestly, I kind of would want to be at the Island Sanctuary, Final
In
Fantasy
Final
14.
Fantasy 14, yeah.
Yeah, because it's literally designed for a vacation spot
Yep.
that you can build up to your specifications, and
Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
and if you don't feel like doing something, you have all these little minions that have been programmed to be very happy to do it for you.
There we
Yep.
go. Especially after you've been cleaning, working on cleaning and organizing the house all week.
Yep.
I did. Okay. So Seema asked about
Yeah.
Ryza. I did actually think Ryza as well.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah. But
sounds like
you
a
need
good
to
time.
make sure you're staying in the nicer parts of Rysa, and not the deeper
yeah.
inside.
Exactly.
Where all the
Yeah.
where all the questing happens. But the races are fun though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be fun. So we can put this out to the audience. If you could vacation on anywhere in any game world, where would you vacation? So, Star Trek, Star Wars, do you want to go visit Endor, post Empire, that whole thing? Where in WoW, Final Fantasy 14.
I was gonna say though, what game has Endor in it? Because yes, but I couldn't think off the top of my head what a game that had Endor in it.
Does
Uh,
SWTOR even have Endor? Like
No.
I doubt they go to it.
SWTOR doesn't, but doesn't one of the Jedi Survivor or
Probably.
one of them, I think, has it. So,
Okay, Endor was on my list. I'm like, oh shoot, what game is Endor in?
yeah.
So But then again, that sounds like camping.
Yeah.
So no,
What about Kashyyyk?
Yeah.
more camping.
No, but
Oh, it is in the
built different
battle-
Very
trees.
tall. They're very tall there.
They are very tall. Yes, everything is very tall.
It is in Battlefront 2, as
there
well
you
as
go.
Battlefront Renegade Squadron and Battlefront Elite Squadron. It's also prominent level in Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, and X-Wing Alliance.
Okay, so yeah, Seema says that the game thing from a book that you always wanted to be true was the Oasis from Ready Player One.
Yes.
Yep, and Stas does say yes, Battlefront 2 has the Endor, but not an ideal vacation with all the shooting and stuff. You know what?
Yeah,
I'm gonna agree.
Yeah.
And again, that
Because
sounds
survival
like
is
camping.
kind. Yeah, survival
No.
is a big part of vacation. You want to
No.
survive. You want to come back alive.
I would like somewhere where I can wear pretty things and eat good food.
Says the person
Risa.
that gets up at 4 a.m. and hikes in the wilderness. Yes.
So that I can wear pretty things and eat good food.
That's called glamping.
No. I drive to the location, I do my exercise, I come back. And I almost only, and I've only broken one bone, and I didn't break my neck coming back from the Mount Royal Cemetery while accidentally hiking on vacation.
Yeah.
And you know what?
In the
Again,
snow.
You were not accidentally hiking. You were hiking.
another place
realize
that would be interesting to vacation would probably be Old Charlian.
Yes.
Because not only do you, like, if you are a book nerd, they have a giant library.
Mhm.
They do
That's
have
delightful.
they have food now, and not just student food. They actually
Right.
have food.
Okay.
And then you have the whole the stuff that's going on the ground
Yeah.
for you to visit and see like so much in one place.
Yep. Yeah. That would be
So
fun.
Sounds delightful.
yeah, no, and I imagine the weather isn't too bad there. So
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
All right.
and
So if you guys want to answer, so our podcast listeners, if you want to answer this question, please do so and ping us in Discord in the AIE podcast channel,
Yep.
and we'll read off any answers next time.
Yep.
sounds good. All right, that'll be our show for tonight. While that chat room begins suggesting show titles, we want to thank us for joining us. So thank you, us,
Yay. We did a
And our
podcast.
chat room.
Yep.
and our chat room. Yes, thank you for adding to the conversation.
Absolutely. All right. And if you have questions, comments, or want to go ahead and tell us your vacation spots, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can find us on the AIE Discord. There is a channel for the AIE podcast, and Blue Sky. Our Blue Sky is it's going to be under AIE Podcast is our Blue Sky social account. We record live with video once a month on Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Join the chat room and play along with us and give us a bad time on our website, which is aie-guild.org /podcast-live-stream, and look for our Discord server at aie-guild.org. For past episodes, go over to YouTube. Just look up AIE Podcast, guys. You know how it's spelled.
Mhm.
Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul.
All right. And if we had any member segments, we would put them right here. So, but 90 to 120 seconds, just send them in. Just podcast at aie-guild.org, and we'll get them in here.
You could even record your answer to the vacation question that way. and
Exactly.
Send it in. We
Yep.
can play it at the end. Yeah.
Or if you have a podcast, a promo.
Yep.
Yeah. And you have until July 27th, because that's when we will see you again.
Yep.
So send it in.
Yep. Kicking
Until
off
then,
the Summer of
AIE.
Love.
Yep.
Yep.
This is Mew Cow,
This is Makala.
This is Tetsemi.
and this has been the AIE Podcast.
Yay!
Hey.
All right.
For a show that we had very little notes.
Oh, we can talk.
We did well.
I never
Yeah, we
worry
can
about
talk.
that.
We can talk forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, chat room, if you have any titles, feel free to post them in here. We will.
Oh, there we go.
Muse
good
adding
one.
his own title. All right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I know.
Yeah. Hey,
he
we will
did.
make
He did
content,
lead the
dang it.
show. Warning, Frakes hugs.
Oh, warning. Frakes hugs. That's cute.
All right. Cool.
Or Frakes shrugs.
Yeah, exactly.
Frakes shrugs. Oh.
That man
$80 Frakes
smiles
shrugs.
with his entire face. You cannot.
Entire face.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So.
He had the actual charisma for that character. So.
Oh yeah,
Very much so.
100%. Yeah.
And yeah, so evidently they were in the middle of a panel, and he just excused himself to go to the restroom in the middle of the panel. Like, guys, I'm 70. Just I had to, you know.
No, he literally stood up, took the mic off, threw it on the chair, and said, "I'll be right back. I'm going to the bathroom," and went to the bathroom. Came back, put the thing back on, continued the panel.
Apologize for being 70.
He's like,
and,
"Hey, you get to 70, your prostate tells you what to do." Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a riot.
Understandable.
Yeah, and not that he's not that comfortable. I'm like, but when you get to that level and you're that comfortable with each other, so all good.
All right.
Yep.
I'll tell you another game that looks interesting. We saw the trailer for is Clockwork Revolution.
I have not seen
It
that
reminds me. Have you played BioShock Infinite?
yet. Yes.
Okay, so it reminds me of BioShock Infinite, but add robots and cyborgs.
Okay.
And instead of ingesting and stabbing yourself with the powers, you put that into your weapons.
Ah, interesting.
So it's you are not becoming some kind of crazy thing. Although maybe you are. Maybe they didn't. It's just you didn't see that in the game. Like it was all doing crazy things with guns, having crazy, grenades. Like it was like interesting, like clockwork based tools
Yeah.
and time stuff.
Oh, there we go. I like that one. Seema suggested Summer of Love preview and best virtual vacation spots.
I think she meant them as
Very-
two separate titles, but I like it as one.
No, it's no. It's a title. Whole thing's a title.
Yeah.
I like it.
All right. Cool. Well, we will let everyone go because we're going to go get dinner. Yes, Seema, I
Thank
understood.
you, Seema. It is one. I knew that. I know the way you're. Yes, the more worlds. Yeah, the more. I was gonna say more worlds, the better, and the more words,
Yes.
the better. We
Yep.
talk a lot, people.
Yes. This is what happens when you leave us to ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Bye, chat room.
Hi guys. Thank
Bye,
you guys.
chat.
See you next month.